morning, YouTube. Tire Metalhead Weatherman. Hopefully, you guys are doing really well. Day, of course, is January 24th, 2023. The reason I'm mentioning the date is because there is an increased threat of a potential severe weather outbreak throughout the afternoon and evening around the Gulf Coast. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the threat and go over some of the details really briefly before I head off to work this morning. So we have a tornado-driven enhanced risk. We talked a lot about this yesterday, and there's a video that goes into the more in-depth details, but we're just going to basically do a quick rundown, rehash the timing, and some of the parameters in this region. But basically, from a line that stretches just to the east of Mobile all the way down to the south here, to the south and west of Houston, there is an enhanced risk for severe weather with a chance of strong to significant tornadoes. And the tornado threat is also prevalent through parts of southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, and down the Texas Gulf Coast. There is an enhanced wind threat as well, but that is mainly situated around the Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama coast, and also the panhandle of Florida. But the threat does stretch down into Texas, albeit less significant. Hail threat is going to be mainly stationed with where that low pressure will be, which is going to be centered right around here towards central Texas. The lapse rates enforcing will be sufficient enough for hail potential right around this region. Houston is included in this one. So we'll be watching you guys throughout the day for all hazards. So let's go ahead and take a look at where our low pressure is actually centered right now. And this is actually moving a little further north than what I was predicting. It's over here towards the Texas-Oklahoma border, on the west side of Oklahoma, towards the actual pan part. And what we're seeing here also as a result is there's an increasing convection that's already begun to develop out here. Temperatures aren't warm enough, so these aren't going to really fire off in anything significant, but this is just going to be a good idea of what we're going to be dealing with. There's going to be a lot of convection. It's also a notable flood threat with this as a result, because these storms are just going to be forming over the same areas and training over them throughout the day. So as a result, be prepared for flooding and all hazards of severe weather throughout the day. Tornado threat's going to be greatest right around this region here. So keep that in mind. If you're a little further to the north, I'll be more concerned about flooding. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the composite reflectivity here. This will give us a good idea of what our storm modes will look like. And we can, like I said, we can already see the convection, the immense convection with this system already beginning to take shape here. This is about maybe an hour or so from now, and we can already see numerous showers and thunderstorms forming, and this intensifies throughout the day. You can even see a great example of just how much spin there is in the environment, because these storms are already trying to grow into supercells and begin to rotate. About an hour after I had just shown here, we go frame by frame, and this only becomes more prevalent throughout the day. Even though these don't look like they're going to be supercells, and they're a little bit north of the parameters here, I wouldn't even rule out a spin-up tornado here. And this is in a sector. This isn't necessarily even in the warm sector, but we're still seeing very clear signs that these storms have the ability to rotate. And it's really not until we get into the afternoon hours where things become a little bit more apparent here that we have potential for a tornado outbreak. You can start seeing little kidney beans right here that develop. And it's these prefrontal storms that we have to watch very closely. Very strong helicities at the low levels. Very impressive dew point and surface temperatures as well. Cape values nearing 1500. Classic supercell type setup. And as a result, of course, the hazard type is tornado. And the significant tornado parameter is at a 5. So very dangerous environment, very dangerous atmosphere out here. So we have to keep an eye on this throughout the day and also into the overnight as this threat moves to the east. We also have to keep an eye on embedded supercells forming in that line, because as these supercells would crash into the main line of the storm, new areas of rotation can form as well. Other thing to note about this system is the fact that these storms are more than likely going to be rain wrapped, unfortunately. So if you happen to be looking at a tornado warning being issued for your area, don't go looking for it, because odds are you are not going to see it. These are going to be very messy storms throughout the day, and this will continue to be the case. Still threats for prefrontal storms over towards New Orleans as we head into the overnight hours. It's already going to be dark by this point, so just keep an eye on your watches and warnings. And then this is the end of the model run here. I can't really go too much further, but that's what we're dealing with for tonight. Last but not least, we're just going to take a wider look at the significant tornado parameter. So here is the significant tornado parameter. And look at how high the numbers really start to get as we get into the afternoon hours. It's just after lunchtime. And over here we can already see pretty impressive significant tornado parameter above 5 right here. And this is with a more discrete storm, so that's a bit more concerning. Again, major curve in the hordeograph here. That's something you see with more springtime setups, more so than a setup in January. And of course, Cape value is actually ridiculous with this setup here. On this one, we're almost pushing towards 2,000 joules per kilogram, which is pretty alarming. Definitely an uptick from last night where we were seeing about maybe 1,500 to 1,600. So this could become a problem very quickly if these conditions continue to trend in the manner that they are. Last couple of days, it's kind of really been downtrending, and I'm a bit concerned about that. I feel like this could catch a lot of people off guard, because this wasn't really played up as a big system, and for a time rightfully so, really. And look at this. Oh, PDS tornado. Look at how low into the atmosphere those helicities are. That's very concerning. Very concerning. And then as we go on, these higher numbers do exist even as it goes into Louisiana here. The numbers are going to drop off as we get further and further to the east here. So once we get towards the coast of Alabama and Mississippi and the Florida Panhandle, I think these numbers will drop, but the threat isn't zero, so you have to also be watching this threat for tornadoes. I do think we're leaning more so towards a damaging wind threat for tomorrow, but that will be for another video. That being said, it's the end of this one. I gotta get ready for work here. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do the double click, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video to anyone that you know that might be in these areas of interest, and try to help keep them safe. But anyway, this has been Tyler, Metalhead Weatherman. I'll probably see you this afternoon. Have a good one, you guys. Stay safe and stay weather aware.